doing UFC 238 quick fire fucking predictions, boys. Get your fucking dicks out because we're about to go hard. We're about to go fucking hard. UFC 238 is on June 8th and it is going to be an absolute savage of a fucking card, guys. I can't fucking wait. I cannot wait for this fucking card. You got Caitlin Chukagian versus Joanne Calderwood. I'm going with Joanne Calderwood, the Scottish slut. The Scottish sweetheart, Joanne Calderwood. I think she's going to get the finish by decision because it's a female fight and they don't finish each other. So I'm going to go with Joanne Calderwood, and a win over Caitlin Chukagian will secure her maybe the next title shot of flyweight. Interesting stuff. Empty division. Moving on, Eddie Wineland versus Grigori Popov. I'll go with Gregory Popov because he's about to pop off on these boys. You know what I'm saying? I like that fucking name, boys. Popov. That is a great old name. He's going to pop off in that cage and he's going to absolutely blitz Eddie Wineland. 13-1. Up and comer. Newcomer to the UFC. I think he's going to get the win over Eddie Wineland. Eddie Wineland's still doing the damn thing. I think he's not quite there anymore, if I'm honest with you guys. Gregory Popov, great name, is going to get the win in the second fight of the night. Moving on to a middleweight clash between Bevan Lewis and Darren Stewart. Bevan Lewis is a striker. Darren Stewart only loses to wrestlers. If you strike with Darren Stewart, you will get flatlined. Charles Bird ate a fucking vicious elbows from Darren Stewart and learned it the hard way. Edmund Shajabajan even didn't want any of the striking from Darren Stewart. You know what I'm saying? He's a fucking vicious knockout puncher. And I think he's going to get the win over Bevan Lewis because Bevan Lewis is coming off a KO against Uriah Hall. Even though he was winning that fight. His first KO loss of his career. He's going to be fearing the KO in this fight. And the last thing you want to do against a knockout puncher is fear the knockout. Because it's going to find you. And I think Darren Stewart's going to get the job done by a knockout. Londoner himself, like myself. He lives about an hour away from me. Maybe half hour away from me. I don't know where he is. But yeah, I think he's going to get it done. Darren the Dentist Stewart knocking fucking teeth out, boys. Yan Xiaonan is facing Angela Hill. Angela Hill's complete... actually, is Angela Hill complete trash? Is she the same person I'm thinking of right now? I don't think Angela Hill is complete trash. No, she isn't. But she fought Jodie Esquibel, who is complete trash. And that's a fucking fact. I'm going to go with Yan Xiaonan. I think she gets the win by decision because it's a female fight and they don't finish each other. Moving on. Ricardo Lamas versus Calvin Kattar. Calvin Kattar is going to be my prospect spotlight this week. Shocker. He's my guy. You know, he's the up-and-comer. He's just found himself into the rankings without beating someone in the rankings, which is weird. But yeah, he's my up-and-comer this week. It's a dangerous fight for him against Ricardo Lamas because Lamas has seen it all. He's fought the best guys in the world. He's fought Frankie Edgar, Cub Swanson, Chad Mendes. He's fought Max Holloway. Fair enough, lost to all of them, as far as I can remember. But I think Calvin Kattar is going to get the job done here. I really do. Ricardo Lamas coming off a knockout loss not too long ago over Josh Emmett. Then he got a win again over Darren Elkins, I believe. I think Calvin Kattar is going to box him up real fucking nice and be able to stuff those takedowns and give Ricardo Lamas some trouble on the feet. Calvin Kattar by knockout. Moving on, Karolina Kowalkiewicz. First time. Alexa Grasso. Karolina Kowalkiewicz. Alexa Grasso's good. Not that good. You know? Not that good. I think Karolina Kowalkiewicz got a lot to prove after 2 losses in a row. She's going to get the win over Alexa Grasso. You know what I'm saying? I think I'm going to go with good old Karolina, the Polish princess. Aljamain Sterling versus Pedro Munoz. I'm going with Aljamain Sterling. I really am. These guys have fought each other before, and I think Pedro Munoz actually got the loss to Aljamain Sterling, as far as I can remember. Please prove me right, rankings. Please prove me right, UFC schedule. Okay, I was completely wrong. He hasn't lost to Aljamain Sterling. I thought he had. Either way, I think he's going to lose to Aljamain Sterling again, if not for the first time. Aljamain Sterling's a big fucking bantamweight, sorry. He's a big fucking bantamweight, and he's a very good grinder, and he's going to want to take this fight to the ground. I think that Pedro Munoz got a gift in fighting Garbrandt, because Garbrandt has no chin and no brain, and he's an absolute idiot. And I think that Aljamain Sterling's going to be able to get the job done by decision, dominantly, and earn himself the next title shot of bantamweight. Interesting stuff. There's a lot on the fucking line here, boys. Next up, you've got Tatiana Suarez versus Nina Ansaroff. Great fucking fight again. Tatiana Suarez is going to absolutely fucking destroy her. Nina Ranzarov is going to get absolutely fucked. And when I say fucked, I mean harder than Nunes already does every night. You know what I'm saying? She's used to Nunes fucking her. But Tatiana Suarez is going to come full on that strap on. You know what I'm saying? Give her that shit. 7-0. Absolute dominant wrestler in the women's division. Which we haven't really seen yet in the women's divisions. We've never seen a real dominant wrestler enter the female divisions. And I think that Tatiana Suarez is going to get the job done by decision. If not a finish in the 3rd or 2nd round. Yeah. Tatiana Suarez is a savage. And no joke. And her nose is kind of weird, but she's kind of hot. I like it. Undefeated as well. So whoever wins this fight, that's your next title contender at strawweight, depending on what they want to do with Namajunas and Andrade. Yeah. Main card time. This is a great fucking main card. Especially with the new edition, which I know you're all excited for. That's right. Jimmy Rivera versus Peter Yan. I'm joking. Taito Ivasa versus Blagoy Ivanov. I'm going with Taito Ivasa. Coming off the first loss in his career. In my opinion, Blagoy Ivanov is too easy to be hit. And I think if you're going to compete at the top of heavyweight, you need to be dealing with Ben Rothwell a little bit better than that. You know what I'm saying? It was a very close fight. A lot of people thought Ben Rothwell won with the forward pressure. I actually thought Ben Rothwell won. I think Tuivasa's going to get in there, put the pressure on him early, and maybe get one of his old school style bam bam fucking first round finishes. Jimmy Rivera versus Piotr Yan. Piotr Yan, as it's correctly pronounced. I'm going with Piotr Yan. Jimmy Rivera doesn't like being pressured. He doesn't like being pressured at all, as a matter of fact. Aljamain Sterling exposed that with him. Jimmy Rivera likes to lead the pace, and I think that Piotr Yan is going to get the finish here in maybe the 3rd round. I think he's going to dominate Rivera's big old fucking antelope fucking head and get the finish in the 3rd round. Peter Yan gets an unrelenting pressure. He used it against John Dodson, but one thing I will say about Piotr Yan, he has a knack for leaving his chin up in the air sometimes when he's coming forward. I think he disregards his opponent so much that he's very open to being hit. And John Dodson connected on him in their fight very well. And but Peter Yan got straight back up, showed a great chin, and continued fucking plodding forward and dominating John Dodson for the rest of that fight to earn a split decision, which was fucking weird, in my opinion. Jimmy Rivera is going to lose in the 3rd round by TKO. Moving on. The saviour of the card. Tony Ferguson versus Donald Cerrone. I think if there's a time to beat Tony Ferguson, the time is now. He's going to be a little bit loosey-goosey. He's going to have a little bit of feeling out process. You know what I'm saying? He's been busy ankle picking his walls and ankle picking his wife, by the sounds of things. But yeah, the restraining order has been dropped. And I think there might be a glimmer of something in Tony Ferguson's mind, which is, why me? That's got to be a thought in Tony Ferguson's mind. And I'm going to take this down to a serious fucking level right now, guys. There may be a thought in Tony Ferguson's mind, which is, why me? He gets the belt off of Kevin Lee. Fair enough, Kevin Lee wasn't the biggest contender at the time. Gets the belt off Kevin Lee. Loses it, gets it stripped from him after he trips over a fucking wire. He's a very religious guy as well. Very religious guy. Loses it, trips over a wire. Loses his belt for no fucking reason. He's available for fight for UFC 229. And they still give the title fight to McGregor against Khabib, even though he was there to fight against Pettis. Wins over Pettis. Then he's going to get the next title shot. All of a sudden, his wife has a restraining order against him and he's starting to see devils. And Eddie Bravo's whispering in his ear about the world being flat. And he's like, it's not flat, it's round. And Eddie Bravo's like, no, you got to look into it, man. It's fucking flat. And then he's really fucking with Tony Ferguson's head. And then, he loses his chance again against Holloway and watches Poirier grab the belt and go against Khabib. I feel like Cerrone's going to be very good here. People that are saying this is a short notice fight for Cerrone, it's not really. He didn't really take too much damage against Al Iaquinta. In my opinion, the fight against Al Iaquinta was like a hard sparring session 4 weeks out. And I think if you're going to fight Tony Ferguson, it's better that you take back-to-back fights because you're going to need that fucking cardio. And in 3 rounds, you might not even need that cardio. I think Donald Cerrone's going to get the job done. I really fucking do. I really think he's going to get the job done. I think he's going to get it done by a high kick in the 3rd round or by a decision, unanimous. Because Tony Ferguson's one of these guys that needs 5 rounds, in my opinion. A lot of the time, Tony Ferguson needs 5 rounds to drown certain top-level fighters. You know, unless guys quit or he finds the finish early, he kind of needs 5 rounds to drown people. Like, RDA was winning some of those first rounds, but Tony Ferguson comes back in the 4th and 5th. You know what I'm saying? He needs those 4th and 5th rounds. So for him to take a 3-round fight against Donald Cerrone, I'm going with Cerrone. He's fresh, he's active, he has a kid now, it's Dad Cerrone time. I'm going with him over the win over Tony Ferguson. I feel bad for Tony, but I think he's going to lose. Then you got Valentina Shevchenko versus Jessica Ai. Jessica Ai is complete fucking garbage. She's had 4 split decisions in a row. She's sucking all the right fucking dicks backstage. Valentina Shevchenko is going to get the win because she's an absolute savage. And I question if she's a woman or not, if I'm honest with you. In my opinion, she beat Nunes last time in the second fight, for sure. So yeah, she could, if that decision goes another way, she could be the best female fighter in the world right now. And I think she's going to completely dominate Jessica Ai. Piece her up on the fucking feet. And if it ends up on the ground, she's going to pound her fucking face in. Jessica Ai's complete trash. Valentina Shevchenko is going to get the win in the co-main event. That's a fucking given. Henry Cejudo versus Marlon Moraes. You mean Henry Cejudo, eh? Henry Cejudo, I think, is going to get the win. I think Marlon Moraes is going to look over Henry Cejudo and look past him. Well, I say look over Henry Cejudo. It's not that hard because Henry Cejudo's a dwarf, so it's very easy to actually look over him if you're of any kind of well enough height. But I think Henry Cejudo's going to get the finish. And I think he's going to fluke it in the first round. Don't ask me why. There's no strategy behind this. Marlon Moraes is the bigger guy. Or is he? We don't know yet. Henry Cejudo is a great wrestler. Marlon Moraes is a great defending takedowns. He's taken more losses in his career. However, he's got vicious power. I just think he's going to overlook Cejudo's striking like TJ did and get flukily clipped on the chin by some weird shot that comes out of nowhere. And Henry Cejudo is going to fluke his way to another championship belt. I guarantee you, because I know if I pick Marlon Moraes, fucking Cejudo is going to take the win. I guarantee you Cejudo gets this win. And he's going to fluke it and catch Marlon Moraes behind the ear or some shit. There you go. Cejudo's going to get it. Such a cunt. I actually hate... It's becoming a meme to hate fucking Cejudo right now. He's so annoying. His trash talk is so fucking bad. Fuck me. Either way, I think he's going to fluke his way to victory. Everything to me points towards Moraes taking a knockout win in the first 2 rounds. I just think Cejudo's going to be better at bantamweight. Moraes might be looking over him because of the trash talk. And he's going to find a way to accidentally clip Moraes on the chin with a weird shot that comes out of nowhere. There you go. Henry Cejudo by 1st or 2nd round TKO fluke. That's what I'm going for there, boys. That is what I'm going for there. Like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you all. I'm live Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8 PM GMT for an MMA general Q&A live stream. Subscribe if you want to be notified by it and click the fucking bell. Yeah. I'm live Tuesdays and Thursdays 8 PM GMT for 3 hours. So yeah. Goodbye. Fun card though, UFC 238. A lot of people are shitting on it, but I actually think it's a fun card. Good stuff.